organizations.
It's Kutztown Live with George Flaitland, your campus community issues talk show. Call in live to Kutztown Live at 610-683-4859. That's 610-683-4859. Kutztown Live with George Flaitland. And now, live from the KUR studios, it's Kutztown Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of Kutztown Live. I'm your host, George Flaitland, here on another Monday, and we're back from spring break. It's been quite a long time since our last episode, but a lot has happened since then. So we've got an action-packed show for you today. First, we're going to have some brothers from the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity here on the Kutztown University campus. Later on in the show, we'll be having some members from the Kutztown Bicentennial Celebration to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Kutztown and all the festivities that will be taking place this year in 2015. And then later on the show, we will have some fraternity and sorority members to discuss some Greek life here at Kutztown University and to discuss sort of a little bit about the Oklahoma SAE fraternity and their racist scandal. But that'll be later on in the show when you can call in and give us your thoughts on the Greek system. But first, we'd like to welcome into the show today Lambda Chi Alpha President Andrew Schroeder, along with Risk Management Chair John Gormley. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, George.
So I've heard word that you will be having a fundraiser here on campus. What is that fundraiser for?
This year, the Miss Kutztown pageant is going to be raising funds for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And what's exciting about the Breast Cancer Research Foundation is, unlike a lot of other nonprofits, most of what they raise actually goes to funding scientists' time and work and energy to actually curing breast cancer, as opposed to raising awareness for it.
And how have you been able to prepare for this beauty pageant that will be coming up shortly, actually this month?
Well, we've been working for a few months as a fraternity, as a chapter. We've established a committee, trying to outreach to the community, tell people about this, find contestants for it, find sponsors for it. We're still looking for more sponsors if anybody out there is interested. But it's really just about finding ways that we can maximize how good of a time it's going to be and also how much money we can raise for the event.
And John, do you know how many ladies will be in the Miss Kutztown beauty pageant coming up on March 31st?
On March 13th, we will have 18 ladies.
31st.
Oh, 31st, sorry. March 31st, excuse me. We will be having 18 contestants going through 4 rounds. And, we love to get some more, but 18 is good enough.
And what will the ladies be doing during the rounds to crown the next Miss Kutztown here at KU?
There will be a formal round event and a casual round, and basically having them come out in any casual wear, formal wear. Also, there will be one round where each contestant will show their personal talent, and also one round to represent their organization in any way they choose.
Now, I heard last year there was quite a talent where somebody blindfolded themselves and did face painting on someone else. What kind of talents can we see this year?
This year, we have a mixed bag this semester, but it's always a lot of talents, especially with 18 individual talents. But hopefully we'll see some in the dark juggling and maybe some other things. I know there are going to be a couple of songs sung, but more to come. I'm not sure.
And how can people reach out to you guys to find tickets, and where can they find tickets?
They can call our vice president. His name is Corey Kenny. He is the one who is mainly in charge of the event. Or they could also call myself, Andrew Schroeder, at 570-468-3012. And also Corey's number is 570-290-0937. Also, any brother of Lambda Chi Alpha on campus can certainly help you with getting tickets. We will also be selling tickets the Thursday before the event, which would be, the the 27th, I believe, of March. We're going to be set up at the Sub, so there's definitely going to be a lot of opportunities to buy tickets for the event. Also, if you show up to the event, there's probably going to hopefully still be tickets available, but just in case, it's better to try and get your tickets ahead of time.
And so the Miss Kutztown Beauty Pageant will be taking place on March 31st in the Schaefer Auditorium. $5 tickets will be at the door, and you can also find a Lambda Chi Alpha brother on campus. They'll be selling tickets at the Sub, as they said, on the March 27th, I believe. And gentlemen, thank you for coming on the show. It's a great cause that you guys are fighting for, and hopefully it'll have a good turnout with all of the ladies that will be coming out.
Thank you for having us,
Thank
George.
you very much, George.
All right, this is Kutztown Live here on the radio voice of Kutztown University. We're going to kick it to commercial, but first, listen to these messages.
It's Telescopic Topics, a look into the world above us.
Some different theories exist concerning the extinction of the dinosaurs, but the most commonly known and scientifically agreed upon is that an extremely large body from space struck the Earth, causing a chain reaction, which eventually led to the extinction of the once huge population of dinosaurs that roamed the Earth. Once thought to be an asteroid that struck Earth, recent studies have shown that reduced levels of iridium, an element common in space rocks, found in the impact crater more likely signifies a comet strike. Comets and asteroids have their similarities, but also have many contrasting features. For one, comets are composed primarily of ice and rock. Asteroids, however, are composed of rocks and metals. Comets are also much more susceptible to sudden surface changes, as its ice and other compounds may melt or be altered as they approach the sun. Comets also travel much faster than asteroids. The one that hit the Earth is thought to have had an approximate speed of 30 kilometers per second. Its speed, which calculates to just over 67,000 miles per hour, and its width of approximately 10 kilometers, is responsible for the massive 150-kilometer-wide crater that lies just off the Yucatan Peninsula. The impact, which came packing the almost incomprehensible strength of approximately 100 trillion tons of TNT through large dust clouds into the Earth's atmosphere. The clouds didn't dissipate for several months, blocking out the sun's rays and leaving harmful chemicals in the air. Once the clouds finally cleared, a massive greenhouse gas effect struck, causing an intense and sudden spike in the temperature of the Earth. The relatively quick extinction of the dinosaurs, along with approximately 70% of total species on Earth at the time, was caused by more than just a huge rock slamming into the Earth. The sudden, long-lasting effects were too extreme for much of Earth's life to adapt to, leading to the eventual downfall of the once mighty species.
Telescopic Topics, a look into the world above us. Stay tuned to KUR for more telescopic topics, and for more information or to hear the segment again, click on the Telescopic Topics icon on the KUR website at www.kutztown.edu/KUR. Telescopic Topics is a production of the KU Physical Sciences Department and is recorded by the KU astronomy students in the studios of KUR. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Looking for exceptional research and fieldwork opportunities? The Chincoteague Bay Field Station is an environmental education facility located on the eastern shore of Virginia. We offer a variety of college courses each summer ranging from geology and biology to literature and marine science. For years, Kutztown University students have come to the field station to participate in cutting-edge research and gain practical experiences that help them secure a job in their field. Find out how you can get involved today at cbfieldstation.org. That's cbfieldstation.org.
This is Officer Riz from Reading Police Department. If you have your wipers on due to inclement weather, you must turn on your headlights. If you don't follow this law, you could be fined. So remember, wipers on, headlights on. It's the law. To learn more about traffic safety, visit justdrivepa.com.
Brought to you by PennDOT and this station.
It's on us.
To stop sexual assault.
To do something, anything, to keep an assault from happening.
To take reports of sexual assault seriously.
Get in the way if we see something happening.
It's on us to never blame the victim.
To be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
It's on us, the entire Kutztown University family, to stop sexual assault.
I took the pledge, and you can too, at itsonus.org.
Did you know that 80% of KU students don't binge drink?
Hanging posters again? Do you think that poster is really true?
Yes, it is true. I am a KU health ambassador and familiar with the audit. KU students participate in alcohol screening each year. We use the Alcohol Use Disorder Identification Test. It is a simple way to screen and identify people who are at risk of developing alcohol problems. We have learned that the majority of students are taking care of business and focusing on academics.
You know, most of my friends don't drink, so I guess what this poster is saying is true.
Would you like to get a group of friends together for a bite to eat?
Sounds great. Text me later.
Kutztown Living, neighbor to neighbor.
Funded by the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board.
Kutztown University's Department of Information Technology recently launched MyKU Mobile, which can be accessed at mykumobile.kutztown.edu. MyKU Mobile provides a quick way for students to view grades, financial aid information, announcements, and schedules, all from your phone. The new site also integrates with social networking sites, enabling students to post their schedules on Twitter and Facebook without ever having to use a computer. Make sure to visit myku.kutztown.edu for the best way to view MyKU on your phone.
It's hard for me to talk about, but I remember I was late for work and I was speeding. Then I saw the car and I hit the car, and at that point I just remember everything in slow motion, the car wrapping around me, and I kept thinking to myself, this is it, I'm going to die. Instead, I'm in the hospital. I'm going home tomorrow. But the hardest part with all this is with Andy. He doesn't look me in the eye anymore. He just kind of pats me on the hand. He probably knows that I know that he's going to leave me, and I can see that in his face just as clearly as I can see what I've done to mine.
Speeding gets you nowhere fast. A public service message brought to you by this station and the U.S. Department of Transportation.
You're listening to Kutztown Live with George Flaidland on KUR. Call in at 610-683-4859. It's Kutztown Live. Dope. Dope, 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 dope.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome again back to Kutztown Live. I'm your host, George Flaidland, and we recently just had members of the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity on to talk about the Miss Kutztown beauty pageant that will be occurring on March 31st at 7 p.m. in the Schaefer Auditorium, so make sure you come out for that one. But who we have now in the studio? We've got quite a load of people here, full house right now. We've got Craig Collar, the chairman of the Historical Society for Kutztown. We have Cole David Heiser, a student here, and also Alex Mack, another student here from the Communication Studies Department. They are here to discuss the celebrations that will be occurring around Kutztown to celebrate the bicentennial. So welcome, everyone.
Thanks.
How you doing?
Great to be here.
All right. So first off, bicentennial of Kutztown, celebrating 200 years of Kutztown. Recently, there was a celebration in and all the bells, I believe. What was that? What was that about?
March 1st, 1815 is when the legislation was signed that incorporated Kutztown as a borough in Pennsylvania. So March 1st, 2015, we decided to ring all the bells in Kutztown 200 times to commemorate that occasion. The actual organization of the town happened on April 7th, 1815, but we're not going to ring the bells again because that's a Tuesday.
I was very awoken that morning when I heard all the.
It wasn't morning, it was noon. I specifically said don't do it early in the morning because we don't want to have a lot of people mad because we're waking them up. We'll do it at noon. So what were you doing sleeping at noon?
Nothing, of course.
All right, you were up late studying. Got it.
Of course, on the weekend.
Sure.
So first off, I have to ask you, Mr. Craig Collar, what is sort of your role for the Kutztown Bicentennial celebrations here for 2015?
I'm the chairman of the Bicentennial Committee to plan the celebration. I'm the former president of the Kutztown Historical Society, so the mayor tapped me to do that because I'm not the president anymore, and I guess she figured I'd have all this spare time. So she asked me to do it, and I took it on. I have a really great group of people on the committee, and we have a lot of things planned. And a couple of things happened already, the ringing of the bells. And this past Saturday night, we had the Mayor's Gala in the Georgian Dining Hall in Old Main. Past celebrations in town really included the university, and so did this one. The university worked with us on that, and it was a really nice affair.
It was a nice affair. I was there helping
Holding the
out.
doors. Thank you.
Holding the doors, of course. Everyone in there dressed up in their black tie attire. It was quite an event, quite a scene to see many people, important people of the Kutztown area in the borough. Now, I'd like to welcome Cole and Alex to the stage, I guess. So to help celebrate the bicentennial, you've brought on some students to help out. Cole and Alex, what are some of your responsibilities and goals, and what sort of helped you to help celebrate the bicentennial?
Well, specifically, Craig and I know each other outside of what we're doing right now, and he actually approached me and asked if I would do the PR for the bicentennial, and it was a neat opportunity for me to tell him that with this senior project that we have to do, that I could actually take it and maybe work it into what Alex and I have to do. So what Alex and I have decided was we're doing a PR campaign that's aimed at increasing the awareness of the actual celebration that's going on in the summer. It's going to be a week-long PR campaign. Alex, you can jump in whenever. And we're basically just trying to increase the awareness amongst the students specifically. We couldn't actually do the PR for the actual celebration because of the way our the constraints are for our project.
Yeah, we chose to specifically target the students because us and a few of the faculty members that we talked about like the bicentennial, they weren't unaware of it. But just recently when I was driving back from Florida from the airport and I saw the bicentennial sign up at the Welcome to Kutztown. Mm-hmm. I just saw that recently, and there's a lot of stuff that's been popping up more, so.
Oh, yeah, it's hard as a student sometimes to, sort of connect with the community at times, and it's sort of important to bring on two students, obviously for your senior capstone, but to sort of bridge that gap between the students and the borough itself. So what kind of events can students sort of participate that are happening here at Kutztown?
Well, with the ringing of the bells, several of the churches in town recruited students to ring the bell because 200 times is a lot, and the bells are quite heavy. Usually on Sundays, some of the churches have, my church is St. John's Lutheran, that's the big stone one up near the park. They have resorted to having taped bells. They don't have an actual bell, they run a recording of bells. But Trinity and Grace and St. Paul's and St. John's that are on this end of town still have bells, and they recruited some students to help ring the bell. The bulk of the celebration is in summertime for several reasons. Number one, that's when the nice weather is. Everything's going to be outside. Now, we do have summer sessions, and there are going to be students living in Kutztown at the time. There are some students who stay here all year round because they have jobs here, and we certainly want them to participate in that. The next big thing we have going on, and this is right after school is over, is actually I shouldn't say that. The next big thing we have going on is the end of this month. It's the Fool's Run. Every year, the Optimist Club has a Fool's Run of a 5K. and it's to raise money for scholarships for local high schools, and it does run through part of the campus, and that's the Optimist Club, like I said, who they're running it, and they're making it a bicentennial event this year. So any runners at Kutztown, we certainly want you to participate. The Optimist Club is always looking for help. If you want to volunteer time or your talents to help them with that, they're very happy to do that as well. In May, we have a concert over Memorial Day and then the Memorial Day Parade. One of the things we're having in June, and any full-time resident of Kutztown and the Kutztown School District, female, I have to make sure it's female. It's kind of a throwback. You talked about the Miss Kutztown pageant that they're having here at the university. They're having a Miss Kutztown Bicentennial pageant and a Little Miss Kutztown Bicentennial pageant on June 20th. So if you are a full-time resident of female between the ages of 16 and 23 by June 1st, you can enter that, and there's scholarship money for that as well. The bulk of the celebration will be July 25th through August 2nd. And the reason we picked that week is for over 100 years, the first Sunday in August is Kutztown Day, and that's when we celebrate Kutztown. It's a big picnic with events and games and other activities up at the Kutztown Park, and it ends with fireworks. So the bicentennial celebration will end with Kutztown Day, so that's why we picked that week.
And it makes sense to have all the events during summer. You know, a lot of people, aren't in school.
You want the nice weather, and yeah.
Oh, of course. And Kutztown is beautiful when, there's not all 5 feet of snow outside.
Or the dirt left over from the snow. We're in the dirty
course.
season. Yeah.
Of course. And is there a website? Is there a Facebook that people can reach you at?
Yes, we have a Facebook page. It's actually, we created our own person called Kutztown Bicentennial because we thought we'd have more ease of use with it and more flexibility. So it's called Kutztown Bicentennial. You friend us, we'll friend you back. You'll see all this stuff. Cole and Alex have actually built a page specifically for their project. So I'll let Cole talk about that.
Yeah, we have a Facebook page. It's called I Am Kutztown, and basically that has to tie in with our PR campaign that we're going to be starting actually next week on Monday, and it'll last until Friday. We also have a Twitter, which is I Am Kutztown, at I Am Kutztown, that you can follow us at. I occasionally tweet back and stuff like that, and all week long we'll be using those social media accounts just to kind of get people engaged and kind of do what we're trying to do, where we increase awareness. I know Alex has created a website, right?
Yeah, it's just a page website for Google Analytics to see how many people actually visit the page.
Mm-hmm.
And that's impressive, important, needing to know what the PR campaign, trying to get the word out to students and those around in Kutztown. I've been going through the Facebook account every now and then, and it's very cool to see all the pictures that have come up from the past of Kutztown. When you see like the roads and things, the trolley that used to be there, where you see new buildings that they say, but are very old now. But it's very interesting to see the sort of growth and development of Kutztown, and it's very fascinating to see through old pictures and through people's experiences when they comment like, oh, I remember when this and that happened. So yeah. it's a very cool experience for me, not being here my entire life. I just come to college here, but to see the history, to see people's sort of livelihood really that has really stayed here at Kutztown, and there's been generations here that have stayed, and people just love the city of Kutztown, the borough of Kutztown.
And it's interesting that you say that, because that's kind of why Alex and I chose this as like our project, because at first we weren't sure what we were going to do, but once we found out that people, like students especially, weren't really familiar with what's going on, and it being that it's in the summer, it's hard to bring those students back. And being that Alex and I have been at Kutztown all 4 years, and we've lived off campus, specifically in the town, we have this sense of like this is kind of like our second home. And that's interesting, because I agree, it's interesting to go on there and see all the deep history of like Kutztown and how it's like developed over the years, and that's kind of why we chose this as our project.
The university and the borough of Kutztown have been intertwined since 1866, when the college was founded. So next year is the 150th anniversary of Kutztown University, so there's a big celebration planned for that too. And I've been in talks with Matt Santos, who's the head of PR, which I'm sure Alex and Cole have been talking to him, and they have a lot of plans. So they're kind of using our celebration to kick off their celebration as well, which is really kind of neat. we've been very fortunate having the university in town because it has really helped us to document the history. In the late part of the 1800s, early part of the 1900s, there was a professor up here, W.W. Dietrich Hall, is named after him. He was a very skilled and talented photographer, and he took a lot of photographs of the area during that time, and we've used them. We have 3 volumes of photographs of the history of Kutztown, plus we use some of his pictures in the book that we published for the bicentennial about all our previous celebrations. And it's funny, the pictures we have from 1965, with all the technology that they had in 65, are nowhere near as clear or as pristine as the pictures from 1915 that he took. So those are in the book, and that's pretty neat. The 1915 celebration for the centennial of Kutztown very much involved the university, as did 1965, and we're trying to get the university involved as well. I want to put out a plug. Our bicentennial parade is August 1st, which is a Saturday, and we are looking for people to participate. If there are any groups or clubs at Kutztown University, we invite you. If you go to our website, it's at kutztownborough.org, and you will see the logo, the bicentennial logo on there. That's your link to get there. There are forms there that explain about the parade and being in it. We'd love if there are any musical groups or theater groups or anybody like that. If you'd like to participate, we'd love to have you.
And I'd like to thank you all for coming on the show today here at Kutztown Live. Thank you, Craig, Alex, and Cole for coming on the show. It's been a great talk about sort of the history of Kutztown and all of the events that are going to be happening in 2015 for the bicentennial celebration. So thank you. And for those listening, please make sure to go on to kutztownborough.org, where you can find out all information regarding the bicentennial celebrations and events that will be happening soon or later here at Kutztown.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Newsbreak is a student-run news program produced right here at Kutztown University. It features stories that affect the Lehigh Valley, as well as Berks County weather and KU sports. You can watch on Service Electric Berks and on Kutztown University campus on Channel 24 and on Hometown Utilicon Channel 28. KU TV Newsbreak. What are you watching?
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online for like a year. She couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearms storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
On the next episode of Recipes for Disaster.
So we've got our neighbor Paul coming over tonight for a barbecue, which is why I prepared a delicious lemon rosemary steak marinade from my special collection of old family recipes. To make sure the steaks are extra, extra, extra tender, I left them marinating out on the counter overnight, just like Nana used to.
Maria may mean well, but without food safety, it never ends well. Always thaw or marinate foods in the refrigerator at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below, or you could make your friends and family really sick. Maria's neighbor Paul didn't think twice about the steak he ate until he was presenting his company's financial forecast to the board. That's when a sudden bout of food poisoning made it explicitly clear that profits weren't the only thing on the rise. Watch Recipes for Disaster at foodsafety.gov. You'll learn the right steps as Maria does everything wrong. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Hi, hon. I thought you were coming home early.
Yeah.
What's the matter? What happened?
And I realized today just how much I really love you.
What do you mean?
I almost got killed today.
Oh, my God.
I was rushing home to catch the game. There was a train coming. I thought I could beat it.
Oh, Billy.
I was just about to go around the gate. Something made me slam on the brakes.
Oh, thank God.
My coffee went everywhere.
I'm so glad you're all right.
It wasn't worth the risk. Never see you again. Never smell your hair.
Don't even say that.
Never see you walk.
I love you.
I'm sorry.
It takes a mile for a train to stop. Don't try to beat a train, or someone you love will get hurt. Look, listen, and live. This message brought to you by Operation Lifesaver and this station.
ThePeopleChronicles.com is a community storytelling project out of Berks County, uplifting, challenging, moving stories. Everyday people sharing their lives, their stories with all of us. If you are looking to be inspired and you want to share your story, find us today at ThePeopleChronicles.com.
And you can hear the People Chronicles every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. here on the radio voice, KUR.
You're listening to Kutztown Live with George Flaidland on KUR. Call in at 610-683-4859. It's Kutztown Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Kutztown Live. I'm your host, George Flaidland. We've had quite a show today. We've had all kinds of individuals and people talking about things going on in and around Kutztown. We've had Miss Kutztown Beauty Pageant talked about Lambda Chi Alpha. They'll be raising money for Breast Cancer Society. And then we had the bicentennial celebrations with a few individuals from the community. And now we are off and running to our Greek discussion. Here today, we'll be sitting down with Maureen Dillon of the Zeta Tau Alpha sorority here on campus, and she is the college Pan-Hellenic for Zeta. And also introducing once again Cole David Heiser, the vice president of Sigma Alpha Epsilon, and once again Andrew Schroeder, the president for the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity here on Kutztown University. Now, in the wake of the Oklahoma University SAE scandal with the racist chants and things, fraternities and sororities have been under fire, under scrutiny and things, and that's why we have invited everyone here today. So everyone say hello.
How you doing? How's it going?
Hey.
All right, so things are up and running. I recently put a post up on Facebook last week or so. I was talking about people's reactions and their thoughts on the on fraternities and sororities as a whole, the Greek system. I've had a wide variety of views and things. And now I'd like to ask each one of you why you specifically chose your specific fraternity or sorority. And we're going to start off with Cole.
When I graduated high school, I was a part of a football team, of actually a winning football team, and it was kind of like this family bond that was created. And when I came to college, I was kind of interested in finding that and joining an organization and getting my feet wet and something that could help me out. And SAE was one of the ones that I was introduced to. And when I came out, the guys that I met just kind of gave me that feeling of like a family and stuff like that. And then when I was introduced to the True Gentleman Creed, it kind of stuck with me. And it's just something that I've tried to live my life up to, I guess you could say, every day, and try to be the gentleman that I can be. So that's really why I chose SAE.
And Andrew Schroeder, if you would put some thoughts and things, if there's not anything that Cole already said, but I'm sure you have some similar interests and reasons for why you joined Lambda Chi Alpha.
Yeah, I had a really close group of friends in high school, and when I originally went to Lebanon Valley College, and had a tough time adjusting to school and everything, and I transferred out of there. When I came to Kutztown, I knew that I was going to be looking for something like Greek life, and I met the guys from Lambda Chi, and they treated me real well. So it really, for me, it was a no-brainer, and it's really defined how I've spent my college time at college, and really how I'm going to lead my life. So.
And those are good words to live by for anyone, really, and for joining a fraternity on campus. And also, we'll be introducing now Maureen Dillon, who is also KUR's president. So welcome, Maureen.
Hey, George. How you doing?
Doing well. So what are your thoughts, and why did you choose to join Zeta Tau Alpha when you came out of college?
Well, I actually graduated high school early, so I came to college at 17, and I was very involved in high school with leadership roles, so I saw Greek life as an opportunity to explore that more, and on top of that, my dad actually was a member of Lambda Chi here at Kutztown, so he had nothing but great things to say about Greek life.
Well, thank you, Maureen, and thank you everyone else for joining the show today. So I put together, like I said, some questions on Facebook, and I got a wide array of responses and things. And I'd like for each of you to sort of respond to some of the things that people have said to me and expressed. I told them I would keep them confidential in their answers, but I will be reading some of their answers. So one of the negative responses I received was in reference to sororities and fraternities, and I quote, "They are hyped up so much for being so great and full of sisters and brothers. Friendships, in my opinion, that are not necessary. In my opinion, they are basically paying for friends, and from what I hear of those that are in sorority or fraternity, their sisters and brothers aren't always that friendly and require specific selection processes and a less severe version of rushing. Who needs to go through an obstacle just to make some friends? There are plenty of better and cheaper free organizations to join where you can make friends and not to wonder if you would really be friends with these sisters or brothers if you weren't all paying hundreds of dollars for membership." So that's quite a loaded answer that I received off of Facebook. So some of those things are, you buy your friends sort of deal, you sort of buy friendships. And Andrew, I'll start off with you. What can you say to that sort of response?
Obviously, that's one big criticism that you hear all the time when you're in an organization that's Greek, is that you just buy your friends. But the truth is, any organization generally needs an operating fund, and Greek life doesn't receive an operating fund from the university. So we have to self-sustain ourselves, just like an American Legion or something like that. So honestly, with the experience that I get out of being a brother of Lambda Chi Alpha, I can't believe how cheap it is compared to when you think of what your other expenses at college are. When you think of, it's just a small fraction of what I'm going to be adding to my 4 years here, and it's everything that I've done is, the leadership that I've gotten from it, the experiences, the trips that I've gone on, everything that I can think of. It's really a minimal fee that has to happen because, funding needs to come from somewhere.
And that's what fraternities and sororities sort of are. They're these large, institutions, sort of collaboration of people with, higher people in the organization, and they need, some sort of funding to keep the fraternity or organization afloat, as pretty much anything would say. So Cole, what are some of your thoughts for the whole cheaper buying friends sort of ordeal?
Well, specifically, if you're knowledgeable about SAE in general and kind of how the media paints a picture of us, we actually have some of the highest dues out of all of Greek life, and specifically that comes from the insurance that we are provided nationally by our nationals, and that's part of why some of the times the media, paints us that we pay for our high dues for all this stuff, but that's from different things. But I agree with everything that Andrew said. We have to pay those dues so that we can sustain ourselves, and we can kind of have that. We actually are covered by the national insurance and stuff like that. But I wouldn't change a thing because I pay for my friends, but some of these friends are friends that I'm going to have for the rest of my life, and I know they're always going to be like family to me. So it's just a matter of opinion, I guess.
Oh, of course, and I'll get back to you on the Oklahoma thing later. But Maureen, what are some of your thoughts on the paying for friends idea?
I just love when people say that. I'm sure you guys do too. But I think the experience is priceless, and being in Zeta Tau Alpha, we have the highest dues for sororities on campus, and we sometimes get a lot of bad feedback for that. But like the boys had said, you're paying for insurance, you're paying for opportunities, you're paying for everything, and it's a business, and it has to operate like a business to some degree.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, sort of the unfortunate inspiration for this sort of gathering of all three of you in your representative fraternities and sorority is the recent Oklahoma University Sigma Alpha Epsilon unfortunate racist chants that were seen on Instagram, seen now throughout the entire internet. And I can't see why people would then be sort of attacking the entire organization of SAE. It's just one chapter, and I'm sure, Cole, you've had a lot of sort of backlash or, you know, some sort of, you know, negative response from peers in general. And can you sort of respond to that?
Yeah, actually, it's interesting. I actually wrote a blog post. I'd have my own blog, and I kind of shared it on my Facebook for people to read. But like you said, it's a group of individuals that decided to, you know, unfortunately chant something that is not part of anything that I have learned in SAE. It's not part of something that we learn. It's not part of we're known as a singing fraternity, and it's not part of the songs that we learn in our education as becoming a member. So just to hear people say that, like, that is an old song of ours that is passed down through history is something that's completely false. That might be something that has occurred like in the South, but up here in the North, I've never even heard that chant before. But specifically, it's hard to, you know, that they cause such backlash for chapters everywhere, I know, that are outraged, because we in SAE pride ourselves in giving back to the community. You know, our national philanthropy is the Children's Miracle Network. We donate nationally millions of dollars to the Children's Miracle Network. We're constantly, I know, on Kutztown's campus trying to find different ways to give back to the community and engage the community, do as much as we can. So it's hard when people take what happened at Oklahoma University and they look at you and judge you just because you wear the same letters as them, and it's just tough. But the group of guys here on Kutztown's campus I can say, are not like that at all. And we're a group of guys that really want to give back to the community. We love hanging out with the community and doing events and fundraising and philanthropy and stuff like that. So it's really unfortunate, but I mean, through our efforts, we have a couple events coming up this semester that I think are definitely going to, you know, not help our reputation, because our reputation isn't tarnished at all, because I mean, we've haven't done anything, but I definitely think that the events coming up can help ease the tension that has occurred because of this incident.
And the outrage sort of that SAE is all racist. They're all racist, sort of. It doesn't speak true here at Kutztown University, right?
No, not at all, because, I mean, as you can attest, we have a very diverse, like, group of guys. I mean, it's not just a bunch of 35 white guys. I mean, we do have African Americans. We do have, you know, all kinds of different people that we join or that we recruit and we let into our fraternity. So, no, the whole racist thing is completely false.
And it's sad that one of my friends from another university, he, you know, put his creed on his cover photo on Facebook, like, this is what we live by, these are our ideals and things like that, that, you know, you follow by. And it's unfortunate that these things happen. And it's also, you know, we can see Animal House and, you know, fraternities and sororities go crazy, things like that, but it's just, you know, a stereotype that, you know, some people say there's a stereotype for a reason. These things, you know, sort of happen. And it's not, you know, not saying that the racist thing is a normal thing, but, you know, the excessive partying, that sort of idea. I just, you know, it's a hard topic really to discuss, but it's something that really needs to be addressed. So I'm gonna ask Maureen here. There's let's see here. Somebody responded talking about one of their friends from a freshman who both of them are not in sorority life, but one of their friends did join sorority life, and they feel that she is sort of lost in this world of sororityism and that she's in a clique and that sort of thing, and she's lost all sense of reality. And I mean, that it's a heavy loaded statement, but why do people sort of do this, and why is there sort of stereotype for sororities, I guess?
Well, I think fraternities included as well. I mean, it really is. Greek life is a culture, and I think it becomes almost like a lifestyle when you're at a college, and that's fine. But when you're first, like, as a freshman, she's a freshman, you said?
Yeah.
Like, when you're first getting into Greek life, it does kind of, like, take over, and but I don't think it's something that is, like, taking over your whole life. I mean, there's lots of events, and you're very excited about the new organization you're joining and meeting new people. So I think from an outsider's perspective, if you're not involved in Greek life, it's very hard to understand Greek life and how it works.
And here's the quote specifically I'm talking about. Everything, and I quote, everything that comes out of the mouth of a girl in a sorority is something about their big or G-big and socials that they go to. or what their big has made them. And not naming any names, but we have friends who joined a sorority, and we were very close with them in the beginning of the year, but she has lost total sense of reality. A sorority takes over someone's life, and that person will forget about all her true friends. We think sororities are very fake, and people in them are in the name and to be cool, end quote.
Well, I think that's a personal choice. If you're abandoning friends, I know personally, I have a great deal of friends out of Greek life, and I'm very involved with radio and even my job at financial aid, like outside of Greek life. And I think it's really a balancing act. And as a freshman, figuring out the balancing act of school, sorority, whatever else you have going on is hard. So I think they're being a little tough on her.
Yeah, definitely. And with the whole, like, they've lost all sense of reality, sororities or fraternities too. Like, for example, I've had Lambda Chi Alpha come on to the show, talk about their Miss Kutztown beauty pageant that will be raising funds for breast cancer. And then, Cole here from SAE, the vice president, he's also committed to his senior capstone and dedicated to his academic abilities and, focusing on graduating and being, a valuable member to the community, to the society, really, and promoting, a great thing in the bicentennial celebration of Kutztown. So to put a stamp on, fraternities and sororities have lost all sense of control and all sense of reality, it just simply isn't true. So maybe it is for like a minority, but you're going to find exceptions everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I can't, maybe it's a bigger thing at other universities, but I don't really hear of any hazing at Kutztown University, really. And there's policy set in place. I know specifically for Lambda Chi Alpha, there's no, hazing at all. So Andrew Schroeder, could you please respond sort of on the hazing policies that Lambda Chi sort of instills?
Well, just like, honestly, it's not just Lambda Chi Alpha. It's going to be any fraternity or sorority across the country is going to be instilling and should be enforcing the policies that anything that makes any new member feel uncomfortable, whether it's physical or emotional, mental, it's absolutely forbidden. It's the point of joining Greek life isn't to alienate, new members from a seniority or anything like that. The point is supposed to be about friendship and meeting people and actually doing something to promote yourself and promote your organization within the community. And honestly, those things, unfortunately, they obviously do play a big role, in yesteryear, and hopefully they're trying to get phased out everywhere. The idea is, though, that, there really is no place for that within, a good upstanding fraternity or sorority in the 21st century. So.
And seeing that all of you, a good answer, by the way, but seeing that all of you are seniors here at Kutztown University, what sort of things have you, sort of ideas that you've changed about being in sorority or fraternity that you've sort of been able to find out on your path in your Greek life? Cole, if you could start.
Yeah, I think specifically when I came here as a freshman, that's why I joined SAE, because I wanted to get involved and I really wanted to get my feet wet. But SAE specifically, and I'm sure Andrew and Maureen can agree with this, with their organizations, but it's provided opportunities to be a leader. I've had many different positions within my fraternity that I hold now, and it's really kind of molded me into the man that I am today, and I know I'm thankful for my organization for everything that they've given me. And like Maureen had mentioned, it's like a business, and people don't see that side of us because of, like you mentioned, the media and stuff like that, and movies and such. And behind closed doors, we really do operate like a business. Like I said, I was the vice president, and I had a responsibility to look over guys and stuff like that, and that's really given me skills and that I can take off into the real world and apply to my real life and a job that hopefully I get. And I'm sure Andrew and Maureen can agree to that it really molds you and it gives you skills that you can take off into the real world and become a better person.
So Schroeder, sort of, has your idea and perception sort of changed when you got into college and sort of got into your fraternity as well?
Yeah, definitely. Ever since I joined, I've been fortunate. I really shot up real quickly. I became president in not too long, and I've had a lot of opportunities from that. I've had conferences in Phoenix, Arizona, and Philadelphia and Washington and everything. And it's like the idea that a fraternity is just some frat that, John Belushi, Animal House kind of thing. You kind of see why. It's a shame that a lot of people come to college with that idea, hoping to join something like that. And really, that's really one of the toughest challenges in a fraternity, is seeing who's interested in actually joining this for the right reasons and who's actually looking to party and everything like that, because that's what you're trying to go against. And you know, it really is a much bigger organization than just some simple ideas like that. So.
And Maureen, your sort of ideas have they changed in your college career, really?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people paint the picture for sorority women that we like to wear bows and just go out all the time and kind of free spirits. But behind closed doors, like Cole was saying, it really is a business. And being on executive council for Zeta has really taught me about that and has given me skills for when I graduate.
Yeah, and both of you mentioned sort of the closed doors aspect of all your fraternity or sorority. And so the question is that people sort of don't understand is what is the need for closed doors for fraternities and sororities? What is, like, why is there a closed off door between those who are in it and those who are not? Andrew, if you could respond.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily that it's necessarily so closed. It's not like it's a, you know, locked vault. It's more like a closed glass door. It's just what the business side isn't as interesting to people. You know, it's you know, all the work that goes into something like the Miss Kutztown pageant, you know, the meetings and everything, the finding out your budget, how much money do you have to run it, how, you know, what are you trying to do here, what are you trying to do that. That's all the work that actually gets done, and that's sort of the business end that I think we're all kind of talking about. And you know, what people see on the outside is either are you going to have a good event like that supports your organization and good, or you're going to have a bad headline about something with hazing or something with drinking or something like that. And really, that's the dangerous, you know, line you cross, is the perception that reaches the outside after all the work that's been done on the inside.
Oh yeah, and so Maureen, so with your sort of closed door or glass closed door, I guess Andrew said, is that the sort of norm for your sorority as well?
Yeah, I mean, our big event every year is in April about Pink Out, and it's breast cancer education and awareness. So we start planning for that midsummer, August, all throughout the year. And that's what I mean by business, is we're constantly communicating with IO and our advisors about it, planning, booking, budgeting. And no one's really interested in seeing that. People are always interested in, like, talking about the negatives, I feel like, of Greek life, so I don't really think anyone would want that.
And what sort of ideas would you, what kind of qualities do you look for in a potential recruit for your fraternity or sorority when they're coming out for their freshman year, just right out of high school, really, in most cases? I know in other cases they come out, you know, sophomore year, things like that. Well, what kinds of qualities do you look for when you're going out for, when people are coming out for your sorority, Maureen?
We look for young women who are very ambitious and a good friend, and that could potentially be like a part of our family.
All right, and Schroeder?
Honestly, we have a code of values, loyalty, you know, honor, things like that. And I always look for, you know, specific examples or stories from high school that the kid can tell me that, like, you know, like I can definitely point to and say, wow, that he's a really, really good person because he stuck up for him, or he did that. And honestly, also joining organizations as well is always such a good key, you know, point that this person wants to get involved and wants to be a leader.
And what are some of the things that you've been looking for in potential recruits as well, Cole?
Just like they said, I mean, I think all of our organizations have different points that they kind of look for, but I know us specifically in SAE, like I mentioned, that True Gentleman Creed, we use that kind of as a base point to really gauge whether or not, like, these guys are coming in for the right reasons. And specifically, I mean, are they coming in because they want to have the media side where they see us chugging beers and all this other stuff and partying and that type of thing? Or do they want to join this organization and, you know, participate in the business side and be a leader and devote themselves to giving back to the community? You know, and academics is a really big thing for us, I know specifically. We look for guys that we don't let anyone in unless they have a 2.5 GPA, and that's whether transfer from high school to college or whether that's their GPA right now in college. So I know that's some of the things that we really focus on.
And those are some of the ideas that, you know, most fraternities are based on anyway. You know, the idea of commitment to the community, your academics, and that's why you're at college to begin with. And if you didn't come to college, then then why are you even here other than just to be a part of a fraternity or sorority? And you really have to, explore your ideas and explore things, new experiences, really. And that's what, I saw when I was coming out for fraternities, really. And I had, a couple close guys that I felt, close and connected to, and I had a great time. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining in on the conversation. It's been a great discussion, really, about talking about Greek life, even though the media likes to portray it in such a negative light, really, when all bad things really happen in OU and in other places, which is unfortunate. But thank you again for everyone coming on the show today.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
George.
you.
Thank you.
All right, this wraps up another edition of Kutztown Live. I'm your host, George Flaidlin. Stick around next week, and we're going to have some more fun stuff for you to listen to here on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
It's the top of the hour, and you're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR Kutztown. We can be heard on campus as